this is a problem we all wrestle with all the time. And the question becomes one of how thinly can I slice the salami and still be legitimate on that? The answer to the first question of can I publish multiple papers out of the same data collection effort, the answer is clearly yes. Right? I mean, where would the strategy world be if we only allowed one paper out of the original PIMS data set, right? I mean, we would have had strategy as a discipline. So clearly, the answer is yes, you can do that. The beautiful thing about this one is if you're wondering whether you're slicing it a little too thinly or not, you don't even have to make the call on this. All you have to do is inform the editor of what you've done. So if you have paper A, that uses data from a particular data collection effort, and you legitimately believe that you can pull a second paper out of that that makes an independent, distinct contribution, all you have to do when you submit that second paper is provide a copy of the first paper alongside it, and you let the editor make that call.
It is the author's responsibility, wherever they submit their work to use that cover letter to explain all the things that the action editor needs to know. One of the things the action editor needs to know is prior publication of data. The way we react to this at Academy Management Journal is a new submission must be different from a previously published submission in 3 ways. A new research question, a new theoretical grounding, and new or additional data. If it meets all 3 of those requirements, then we would view it as a new paper. But that's a decision that we have to make using the information that the authors give to us. We really rely on the cover letter to give us that information that we need.
If you're serving science and society with your work and you're serving a community of scholars that are looking forward to hearing your results, then you're likely on a path that would suggest that this is something new and fresh that needs to be heard.
It's not only asking the editor, which I think is always the thing to do, but you should think about what other people will think about you when they look at this, because no one thinks multiple publishing and slicing things that thin is a good idea, so you should think about your reputation as well.
One needs to have new theory, new data, and a new story that you are telling, essentially new dependent variables. So I think the default position is always, in my opinion, newness across the entire study. New theory, new research questions, new outcome variables that are being predicted. So newness may be the word of choice when thinking about data and its additional use.
You should report data only once, and if you deviate from that, you certainly should let the editor know.
Even a modest proportion of your IVs or DVs that overlap between 2 studies, and those are coming from the same data set. We're getting on very, very thin ice there. And so again, you lay it out for the editor, make your best case about why this is different.
If 2 papers have the same data, the same cases, the same firms, the same individuals, but no overlapping variables, well then that's more likely to be new, obviously. When there are overlapping variables though, I think what's most important often is the dependent variable not overlap, or that an independent-dependent variable relationship not overlap. It's hard to write 2 different papers around the same IV-DV relationship. Let's say one submission is moderating an IV-DV relationship, the next submission is mediating an IV-DV relationship. What inevitably happens is that both manuscripts get rejected, not because they weren't forthright in their cover letter, often they were, and so there's no ethical issue at play, but instead because both papers are small. The scope of neither paper is big enough to warrant publication. If they had put them both together, now they have a much bigger model that makes a much bigger contribution, and they have 1 paper resulting from their work instead of 0.